Hi, I'm Isabel Tobia. This is my presentation on Italian neorealism. My thesis is the neorealism movement played a major role in giving artists more control over film production. So, what is neorealism? The neorealist movement is a national film movement with the main characteristics of stories set amongst the poor and the working class. These were often filmed on location and frequently had non-professional actors. Italian neorealism started as a result of both World War II ending and Mussolini's government falling. These events caused mass economic and social hardship for those living in Italy, and films presented contemporary stories and ideas. Ossessione, a 1943 Italian film about a drifter who has an affair with an inn owner, Giovanna. They plan to get rid of her husband. The main leads were morally ambiguous, meaning that characters no longer had to be just good or bad, and it was more about everyday life of the common man. Many film historians consider this tragic story of infidelity and betrayal to be the first Italian neorealist film. The Bicycle Thief is another example of an Italian neorealist film. It was directed by Vittorio De Sica in 1943. It follows the story of a poor father who searches for his bicycle after it had been stolen. The father needs the bicycle to be able to keep his job in post-World War II Italy. It received an Academy Honorary Award in 1950 for Most Outstanding Foreign Language Film, and in 1952 it was deemed the greatest film of all time by Sight and Sound magazine's poll of filmmakers and critics. The Miracle. It is one of two parts of an Italian anthology film directed by Roberto Rossellini. The film of a tramp, Fellini, who has an affair with a mentally unbalanced woman. She gives birth to a son, who, she says, is the Messiah. This film was heavily critical of religion and of the church. On the opposing side, it was immediately hated by the Catholic Church, and they mounted an aggressive campaign against the film. In December of 1950, the film was banned in the United States. The Supreme Court. The Italian film The Miracle was banned by the New York State Board of Regents on the grounds that the film was sacrilegious, because this showed the level of censorship that plagued Hollywood movies at the time. The film's American distributors took the case to the Supreme Court, and in 1952, it decided that the Regents' ruling had violated the separation of church and state. Essentially, it ruled that the medium of the film was protected by the First Amendment. Filmmakers were then protected by the Constitution and were free to make films based on their artistic vision without worry of censorship from religion or other organizations. The influence that this had. Thanks to improvements in cameras, filmmakers could work in the streets and actual locations. Italian neorealist filmmakers, often casting non-professional actors, even some were put in leading roles. Many neorealist films are episodic, meaning that they focus on everyday life with far less attention on dramatic unity and storytelling. Prior to the fall of Mussolini, Italian filmmakers were under very heavy censorship. Italian realism was rejected by fascism and Mussolini. Free from fascist censorship, filmmakers began to directly challenge social and moral ideas. They had more complex characters with conflicting motives, and these films tended to focus on the working class. Summary. The Italian neorealism movement allowed for more freedom in the filmmaking business through its new approach to storytelling and its acceptance of expression. It was a rebellion against the censorship brought by the fascist movement in Italy during the time of the era of Mussolini. It broke away from the traditional methods of storytelling by using non-professional actors, shooting scenes on location, and having non-episodic storytelling. The censorship of the Italian film, The Miracle, ensured films in America were protected under the First Amendment. protected directors from having to alter films to ensure that they were not banned, and it allowed for more artistic expression. Thank you.